Just wanted to jump on here and talk to you about supplements. I know that people can really rely on them to, sort their health out. But we need to be really, really careful because supplements are like tiny little bullets that are jam-packed with information. And if we put them into a body that is not able to cope with them, we can actually cause more stress. So it's really important to prepare your vehicle. I cannot emphasize it enough. Even if you've got something like anemia, or you've got signs that you've got low vitamin D or anything like that, you need to prepare your body first. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is you need to make sure that your bowel is working well and therefore your liver has a route out. Because if you are dehydrated and toxic, if you have a poor functioning bowel, so you're not eliminating your toxins properly, and you are building up your toxic load, you're going to have a stressed liver, you're going to have an unhappy liver. And so if you then shove in these supplements, these tablets, your body is really going to struggle with coping with them. So a lot of people will say, well, I have this symptom and I have this problem and I have this problem, or I'm just going to take these supplements just to make sure that I'm getting what I need. But like I say, we can actually cause more stress. So how can you prepare your vehicle, as I call our body? How can you prepare it to make sure that you can utilize those supplements, but also make sure you can achieve optimum health? So probably if you've listened to me before, you know that we've got to hydrate fully. We've got to make sure that we are addressing our hydration. And living the way we are in our modern environment, we are under continual stress. And this creates physical dehydration. And as we're nearly 80% fluid, that is the aspect of the body that gets touched upon. So we need to be drinking adequate amounts of water. We need to be eating in a way that provides us with a lot of moisture. So vegetables, soups, stews, brown rice, quinoa. We want to be avoiding junk food as much as possible. And we want to be eating clean protein. So chicken, fish, eggs, if you're having red meat, but make sure that it's healthy, organic if possible. And as much as possible, limiting dry processed foods. It doesn't matter if it's things like rice noodles or rice cakes, because generally they're made in they're relatively healthy. I mean, if you look at rice cakes, they're whole grain. Yes, they're not going to provide you with fluid, but they're not gluten. So they're not going to irritate the body. They're pretty easy on the digestion. So whenever we're wanting to take care of ourselves and we're considering, do we need a supplement? The first port of call has to be taking care of yourself through your diet first, and then using the supplements in a small amount, just tweaking your system with small amounts of supplements if you are hydrated. If you are run down and feeling toxic, it's actually the time you don't take supplements. You only take supplements if you are enhancing your system that is already working relatively well. One of the most beneficial things you can do, in addition to changing your diet and supporting your diet in a healthful way, is to get outside in the sunshine and to, without using any sun factor, get about, depending on how strong the sun is, of course, but use at least 10 or 20 minutes of exposure to the sun, because we are little solar-powered batteries and the light is literally drawn inside our cells and is incredibly important for our health. When we look at one cell in the body, there are 4 things that have to be right. Oxygen, so the amount of oxygen, the correct temperature, the correct pH, and what's the 4th thing? pH, temperature, oxygen, and light. Those are the 4 things that need to be right. Now, sometimes when we put supplements into our body, when we're already under stress, we simply create more stress. So we do not improve the temperature, oxygen, pH and light by adding supplements in. As I said at the beginning of this video, They are concentrated little bullets jam-packed with information. And yes, sometimes our body is going to want that information. It's going to want that vitamin D. It's going to want that MSM, which is sulfur. It's going to want that vitamin C. It's going to want that zinc. It's going to want that B6. But the majority of the time you want to be focusing on your diet to get those things, and you certainly want to make sure that your routes of elimination are working well, so your bowel is clearing properly by eating and drinking moisture-laden foods and drinks. Things like soaked linseeds can be very useful if you don't have any major bowel problems like diverticulitis, etc., or Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Then you wouldn't do soaked linseeds. Your short grain brown rice, which bulks up both sides of the bowel, helps you to produce large soft stools. So you're really supporting the bowel. You're not putting in loads of bread and cheese and cakes and pasta. It's fine to have it a couple of times a week. It's just you're mostly not doing that. Otherwise, you make the bowel very sticky and gunky, and you don't produce those large, soft, aerated stools. You've got your skin. Are you skin brushing? Are you exercising? Are you doing hot and cold showering? Are you sea swimming? So that you're really utilising the large surface area of the skin to clear your toxic load. Are you breathing properly and making your lungs work well, doing deep diaphragmatic breathing, really opening up your lungs, using them well, exercising, getting that fresh air in. It's a wonderful way to expel toxins, clear the toxic load from the body. And then the other route of elimination, the fourth, is the kidneys. And again, the kidneys are similar to the bowel. We require lots of hydration through water and moisturising food. Of course, you can flood the kidneys if you drink more than 2 pints of water in 1 hour, which is 1 litre. So obviously you spread the amount of water you drink out throughout the day. And then when you've done all of that, you then look at supplements, and you don't take them all the time. You take them maximum 5 days a week. You have a rest at the weekends. You don't want to always be asking your liver to break down these supplements. And then you want to make sure that the supplements are good quality. You do not want these shoddy supplements from places like Boots. You don't want cheap, rubbishy supplements filled with loads of calcium, calcium carbonate, fillers, bulkers, and nasty things like that. So you can go to Fuller Nutrition /shop and get a link to my absolute favourite company. I've worked with the owner of the company for 30 years. I trust him. He's a naturopathic consultant and is similar to me in my approach to the way he uses supplements, and the quality of his supplements they're clean. They're clean supplements. It's still, even if they're clean, you still don't want to be shoving them in every 5 minutes, and you don't want to be shoving them into a dry, toxic, stressed body. So you prepare your body first, then you have a selection of the ones that you feel you need, and then you take them appropriately. And what I often recommend you do is, before you actually take them, is to actually tune in and sense whether it's right for you to take them at that time. So you can also use your intuition, so you're not just shoving tablets in day after day in a mindless, almost unconscious way. This is not helpful. I hope you found that helpful. It's just to give you some tips around that often we are searching for remedies to cure our various ailments by looking inside a pot or a jar and trying to take tablets to do what really we need to do in a more mindful way, which is to start to tune into our systems, to start to cook and prepare food in a healthful way, and choose the type of food that is healing and balancing for our systems, and also to get out in the sunlight, to exercise, and to reduce our stress by acknowledging our difficulties and being self-loving. So these are all tips and techniques that you can use that are far more powerful than just taking a tablet. I hope you found that helpful, and if you have any questions, please do get in touch. I'd always be delighted to help. But as I said, supplements need to be further down the port of call when it comes to resolving your health issues. They are supposed to be a support. They are not supposed to replace all of those healthful activities you do around being in the sunshine, drinking plenty of water and eating a healthful diet. All right, lots of love.